My name is Thomas. I just moved to Stockholm. I'm from Copenhagen, and I met the first Danish guy I met in Stockholm was this gentleman over here. And he didn't even know that I was Danish until today, which is kind of fun. So today I will. I was told to talk about how to develop and sell IoT products. So I work in a company called How, frankly. We are product developers. We develop products that are for mass markets, selling like 1 million units. We develop products that are super expensive, where you sell 50 units maybe. And I thought I would talk a lot about technology and values and tables and stuff. But then I was told that I should talk to creatives as well. And then I saw that I should talk to engineers and creatives. So you cannot be an engineer and be creative at the same time, maybe. I don't know. So I'll try to address. So who is in here is an engineer and creative at the same time? We have 10 to 12. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I have 20 minutes, right?
Yes, and we have a timer.
Can you start the timer? Because otherwise I'll just keep on talking. 15. Let's get started.
And then you have up to 5 minutes of Q&A.
All right.
Do
Okay.
you want to spend any time trying out this mic, or you want to just go with it? Check. 1, 2.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. Nice. Look at this.
See,
Because I want
the
to.
problem is the feedback. So, all right, let's try
That's
it out.
right, that's
If
right.
the feedback is killing everybody, then you can switch over. Just maybe stay behind the
Does it work now? Nice. Okay. So I brought many things. I'm very hands-on. I like to play around with the technology. And during the talk, I have a lot of chipsets up here because I want to relate things. If you're creative and not an engineer, you can look at the chipsets. I'll try to pick them up under the presentation. But I cannot be close to them right now, I see. Let's try in any case. So who are we? Just to describe what the company is. We are 60 people. We're based in Malmö and Stockholm. We do product development in general. So we're not IoT experts, so we don't only work on LoRa, for example. We work on all the technologies that are needed for actually producing products and putting them on the market. We're 10 years old. We have 3 studios. We have one in Malmö, we have one in Stockholm, and we have one in a wonderful place called Shenzhen in China. And this is because we have our own supply chain, because we do productions for startups. And if you go to a factory in China, say I want to produce 1,000 units, they would say screw you. Maybe they would still accept you, but then they get a bigger order from somebody else, and they would screw you. In any case. And this is what happens to many companies. This is why we try to be a bit strategic with producing things. So we work a lot with the startups, and the whole process is basically, as illustrated in this slide. There is a guy in a bathtub who gets a very good idea. This is this light bulb. So what we do is that we take the idea from idea to sales box. And sales box means a box and a guy popping out of it in this icon. So this is basically what we do. And it involves a lot of different things. And I'll try to run through many of these things. We do a lot of different things. Felix, who's sitting in the audience, is working on design, for example. I like electronics and software. We also do supply chain. We do things that are needed for product development, really. We have done a lot of IoT products. This one was just launched, Pucks. It was a Kickstarter, but they also went on Indiegogo because they know the rules. They can just they get $1.5 million dollars on Kickstarter, and then they go to Indiegogo and they get the same. Smart guys. Yeah, we have done other connected speakers, connected headphones. So we do products really in a broad sense. More products. How do I get this sidebar out of the way? Here we are. This is, does anybody know this product? Does anybody own it? No? It's a surfboard. So two economy students told us that they wanted to make a surfboard. That was the first surfboard that had a jet engine and was battery driven. And they had no idea how to do it. And it would cost 200,000 Swedish to buy it. And we thought, what a great idea, let's do it. But they're selling a lot of these boards. So it's like, there's so many people who have so much money just for a funny toy. And it's so fun to ride. So it was a cool project. It has Bluetooth connection as well. You can update software and everything. So IoT. So for the people who are not engineers but are creative, let's try to have a quick overview. I'm the first speaker. There'll be speakers speaking about LoRa later. So I'll try to give a quick overview about IoT because we have clients coming with an idea about a product, and we have to choose technology. And LoRa is super interesting, for example, but maybe it's not there yet for a product that will be sold in Shell company, for example. So what can you choose between, for example? So this picture is a beautiful picture probably from southern Manhattan, where a guy put all his Apple devices on a table, and this is actually an Android as far as I can see. His nice new headphones, and he even has a mouse and everything. It's a beautiful picture. So what I see a mess of antennas. There are so many antennas as already you can see. So what are the antennas in this picture? It's Wi-Fi. I see Wi-Fi in here, Bluetooth in this one. This is Bluetooth connected. What else? It has NFC to this one. So I can probably scan with my phone. I can scan for this one. I have a GPS antenna in this one as well. I have cellular in this one. It's probably 4G. These guys are corded, so they don't have any wireless connection. In any case, there may be 10 antennas in this picture. It's probably a mess to get working properly if you don't have a proper development budget, and these guys do, so it's good. But one kind of networks are called local area networks. These are the networks that are local. And this is Wi-Fi, for example, and it's Bluetooth. What is the range of Wi-Fi? It's probably like 10 meters, maybe 100 meters, something like that. What is the range of Bluetooth? 10 meters again. So these are, like when we develop products, we choose these technologies sometimes because they're standards. What is Bluetooth? Bluetooth low energy is a revolution in terms of wireless because it was built for low power as opposed to Wi-Fi, as opposed to many other technologies. Bluetooth is a local area network. You have 10 meters range, you have low capacity in terms of bandwidth. It doesn't matter. You can do so many things. And this is why, like this wristband, for example, it has an active connection to my phone for 2 years on a coin cell, like these small thin batteries. 2 years. It's ridiculous. Nobody could do that 10 years ago, but now you could, but it was not a standard. Now this can be bought for, like the chipset costs $2 maybe.
How often do they speak?
The connection interval is probably 1 to 2 seconds in this one.
Every 2 seconds?
Yeah. So it would sleep, it would wake up, it would exchange package, and it would sleep again. So it's sleeping more or less all the time, but it's awake 10 milliseconds per 2 seconds, say. So this is a super cool technology. It's pretty cheap. What's coming? This is interesting. What's coming in January? This is what is interesting for us, looking at future technologies. It's not the best solution in the world still, but it will probably become a standard. And they say you get 4 times the range, so it's 40 meters maybe. So suddenly you can start measuring things that are not within line of sight, maybe in neighboring rooms. So that's pretty cool. Wi-Fi, we all know Wi-Fi. Why is it good? Super high bandwidth. Why is it bad? Like for battery-driven, how many people have a battery-driven Wi-Fi device at home? What are they, for example? Yeah. So the thing is that there are not so many. Power consumption is a big problem because it drains the battery in no time. So this one would run for 2 years. With an active Wi-Fi connection, it would run for maybe an hour, maybe? Half an hour, maybe? So it's a completely different range of power consumption. Chipsets are super expensive, provisioning. You need to onboard the device, you need to type in the ID, the password, and then you have to go to the app, and it's really annoying. Data plan, you need that to get the data. It's not a problem with Wi-Fi. So we still use Wi-Fi in some cases. So I'm saying that you cannot build battery-driven Wi-Fi devices, but you can, obviously. To prove me wrong, these guys put this product on Kickstarter. It's called NoKey. Did anybody back it? Nice. Yeah? I hope it works.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, they didn't do it. It's a new campaign, yeah. So they got so much money. They have a device which looks like it's like a small unit you put on a table, accelerometer. If you knock the table, it wakes up the device on the accelerometer, it opens a Wi-Fi connection, it sends data, and it sleeps again. And they see 2 years of battery time. So you can make battery-driven products on Wi-Fi, definitely. So these were the local area networks, 10-meter range maybe. So if a customer goes to me and wants to measure the soil humidity in a field, how do you do that if you don't have an antenna? So what are the technologies? It relates to things like these. Maybe it's cellular networks. So this is a phone. This is what's good about my phone. It works without me being close to Wi-Fi. The thing about telephones is that they're not really optimized for low power from the beginning. The technology is not made for low power. Bluetooth is made for low power, Bluetooth low energy. But like 2G, 3G, 4G is not made for low power. So it's interesting to see what will happen with 5G. So it's not made for low power. Drawback, very high power consumption. You can drain this in, say, 20 minutes with and this we know from our phones as well. It just drained in no time. You need a data plan. Super expensive chipset. So if you're working on 3G, for example, 2G will be gone in a few years maybe. 3G costs $20 for buying the chipset in 10K volumes, for example. It's super expensive. And this is why we want something else. This is not the solution to everything. If you want to make a super cheap IoT product and just throw in your field, 3G, it fits in an iPhone that's super expensive, but no. So what I want ideally, and this is what people will talk about today, is low power networks. It has to be made bottom up with low power in mind, and it has to be a wide area. So I want a device that, I have a kid at home and she can scream, like this guy maybe. I want a device that screams when it's awake and then just sleeps. And then talking about connection intervals, you could have, I don't know, it doesn't matter really the connection interval. You can just scream. Say you wake up once per hour and you just scream whatever you want and then you fall asleep again. This is what I want. This is my idea of an IoT, and this is not my idea. This is what makes sense really for IoT platforms. And what we will hear about today, yeah, so this is basically what we want. We want low cost. Wi-Fi and 3G is super expensive, and we want range, and we want penetration. We want to be able to go through concrete, for example. If you have a meter in question, yeah. Yeah. So if I have my 3G, if I call somebody, I have an open 3G connection. I draw up to 2 amps peak currents, but I would on the average draw maybe say 0.3 amps. Whereas if I have an open connection with this one, it's meant to sleep all the time, so I can be on the average on 15 microamps. So that's a factor of 10,000 more or less, the difference. So it's completely different. This one is optimized for connectivity and I can download things. And this one is optimized for sending just very brief signals. And this is why the network the infrastructure is made for this. So it's such a big difference. We will hear a lot about LoRa today. So these are different takes on, these are the cowboys in the low power wireless. You can say these are the guys running on unlicensed frequencies. And they're very fast because they don't have to live up to many of the same regulations as the established companies. Sigfox is French. So they said that we have a certain capacity, how to handle that, how much can you send. So they say, okay, you can only send this. You can send 140 packages per day, and that's it. Most people don't need more. And they have more than 10 years of battery life, and that means that more than 10 years is more or less eternal life. You never change the battery because after 10 years you forgot that you had your sensor in the soil. It doesn't matter anymore. And you have a new phone and it doesn't have the same, I don't know. So 10 years to me this means eternal life. And this also goes for LoRa. I don't need 25, like where am I in 25 years? I have no idea. What's interesting as well is range. You have 10 kilometers and they also state 40 kilometers for Sigfox. So that means that you can cover a city with like 5 gateways maybe. You are covered. So it's super interesting instead of rolling out 4G and it's so expensive. So these guys are competing right now. Sigfox has been established in Finland now. It's not in Sweden. LoRa is, as far as I know, LoRa is maybe coming to Stockholm soon. It's coming sometime. So the more conventional players like U-Blox, a very big chip manufacturer, they work in a licensed spectrum. And this means that they can tap into the existing technologies. So they can tap into 4G. So they put so instead of putting up a new gateway, they can use the 4G signals. And this means that they have certain advantages. They say they have 10 years of battery life. I'm expecting that this will be super expensive. but let's see. They came out with this chipset last month, maybe. So there's a lot of battle going on in this field, you can say. I will quickly go through how to develop a product, and it will take, I have 2 minutes. Let's see if I can make it. It starts with a guy being creative on a whiteboard. It starts with a designer like Felix, who is creative with a pen. I wish I could draw, I'm horrible, but some guys are really good. Then we do some teardowns. I love teardowns as well, why not? Life is short, do some teardowns. Then we do some programming. It's pretty, you drink a beer, you drink coffee, you do some programming, you have cables, power supplies. What's different for IoT products is that you do a lot of, you do some PCBs, and then you do a lot of measurements as well, because it's a lot of radio physics. Radio frequency is, who thinks radio physics is fun? Nobody. Maybe a few people, yeah. You need to buy a lot of expensive instruments. If you're a startup, you don't want to spend 300,000 Swedish on not necessarily this one, which is a picture from the 60s, but of equivalent instruments. This is why it's not as easy as just making an app for your iPhone or whatever. You go to China, you want to produce your product, you do price negotiations, you do different builds, you hang out with a cat, you look at your tools. I'll just take 2 more minutes and cut off the few questions, maybe. We go there. So many companies don't want to go to China to inspect mass production lines, for example. We do that for them. We wear these nice pajamas. We look at the electronics. We look at all the components. First out of tool, we look at the parts. How were they? How were the pogo pins? We look at the whole economy. What is the price of electronics? What is the price of assembly, shipping, and what is the price of development? And this thing down here, certification. This is the thing that's super annoying for many people, because people think that, I have this crazy bit about this product. It has Bluetooth, it has Wi-Fi, it has 3G, and it ends up having a certification cost of, say, 1 million Swedish kronor. Nobody can afford that in the beginning as a startup, obviously. You really have to have a good reason for having all these wireless technologies in that case. So certification. Describing certification in not 3 days, but in 60 seconds. It's based on this very sophisticated word, interoperability. You don't want to say I have a product, I don't want it to jam the whole frequency, the whole spectrum, and I don't want everybody else to jam it. It has to work. If I certify, I get to use their logo and their branding. So I have a Bluetooth product. People know how to pair a Bluetooth product. Somebody developed that whole platform. I get a membership of a very elegant club, which is the Bluetooth club or the Wi-Fi club. Then I do some product testing to get it certified, and then I can list my product on their homepage after paying them a lot of money, and only after that I'm allowed to sell the product. If I don't do the certification, they will tell me to stop selling the product. Why is it so hard? There are many different standards. I can see 7 standards right here, and these are on some of the main markets. If I want to sell in this country, I would have no idea what to live up to, but you would have to find out. So when Kickstarter projects say that, like, I have Wi-Fi, I have Bluetooth, and I have the whole world as my market, they're never going to certify it, and that's just the way it is, because it will be impossible for them with small economies. This is my example. I have a paper swan. This one, it's not connected. So I only certify it for EMC and safety. It shouldn't burn up and burn down my house. And aviation, it's a special kind of certification for flying things. My paper swan flies. If I have Bluetooth in it, and this is in the super quick version, if I don't have Bluetooth, it will cost me $5,000 to $10,000. If I have Bluetooth, I will add another $1,000, no, 15 plus 4 for the membership. Then you are an adopter of the Bluetooth standard. It will take me 3 to 6 weeks. Count that in before you will start delivering your units to your Kickstarter backers, for example. And then suddenly you want your paper swan to be on Wi-Fi. It only gets worse. The membership costs $15,000, and it will cost you $30,000. And these are Irish numbers, but it could be $30,000 to get the certification. It will take you a lot of time as well. So this is the reason why you shouldn't put all the wireless technologies you can fit in your platform, because chipset may be cheap, but it ends up being very expensive. And where do you get it done? Europe, US, we use China as well. So this is basically the process for making products in a very, very short time. We're currently hiring. We are in Stockholm with 30 people, and we need more electronics, software, mechanical engineers. I have more information about the jobs on the table, down here on the ground. This is Swedish word for thank you. Tack. That's it.